Hey y'all, it's a podcast called Fresh.
It's me, it's M.A.P.
He gets it more than the rest of you. He's better at this than you.
Yo, what up, though? What it do? What it is? It's a podcast called Fresh. I just told y'all my name. I'm the host. Let's get it. What's good with y'all? How y'all doing? Me? How am I doing? As I always say, I used to tell Ray, I'm well enough to continue the facade of sanity. Just in a weird place right now. My aunt passed Monday, and so I'm dealing with that. It's out of state, and it's just a real weird thing because, of course, I'm sad she's no longer here, and I said, I'm sure I said it before, I have a very weird take on death that I didn't know was weird until I said it to my wife. You know, my dad told me at a young age, everything and everybody you love is going to die. It's inevitable. Every day before you go to sleep, ask God to give you the strength to deal with the day when I die and your mama die, because it's going to happen. So, for the most of my life, I guess I never seen my old man cry. Funerals, nobody, none of the men and stuff like that on my father's side. So, that's what I strive to be, but to do, Not all the time, sometimes, your man's eyes might sweat, but it is what it is. But with this situation, and it's just crazy because, when Decker was born, the first words I said to him, I made him a promise. And that was between me and him. And I'm going to keep the promise, So, with that being said, I just try to make a point with my people. Somebody else I know lost somebody. So, and it's weird because I'm the pessimist guy, I'm Captain Grouchy. You know what I'm saying? Every day, I wake up, try to send out a text, a gift, something, like, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? How we doing today? Shit like that. And it's weird to me. I feel like Skeletor.
Listen, I am not nice, I am not kind, and I am not wonderful.
That's just how I feel, so it's weird for me being nice that I'm super duper self-conscious, you know what I'm saying? And I would think that if I'm them, I'm thinking this motherfucker's not always this nice. Are you pitying me? Looking down on me, mayhaps? So I feel real weird about it. And then with that, I get kind of weird because I'm real serious when I'm, serious about something. And I try to, cheer somebody up and shit. They get pissed. Like, motherfucker, I've been doing this shit for 4 days. Cheer up. But I gotta, have enough sense in myself to step outside of myself and be real about the situation. And I haven't said nothing crazy shit like that to nobody. That's mad, stupid, and insensitive. I wouldn't do that. But it's just weird and the coincidence. I feel, and I hate to say that shit because I tell wife I don't believe in coincidence. Everything could be explained. And if you can't, more than likely it's due to lack of information or lack of understanding. But she's always like, and I hate to say it, she be right like a motherfucker. Things happen for a reason. It's some tough shit. We be on some fucking dusty roads all times. Give you a watch say, a machine took your job, daddy. All times. And she'd be like, it's gonna work out, baby. And it do, and I'd be happy. And in the same sense, like, fuck. She was right. I hate that shit. And it's weird, and it's like, maybe, I don't know, and I'm not a real religious person or nothing per se. But I feel like, and I like to say the universe, and I'm not one of those earthy gemstones and all that, not to knock people if you're into that, more power to you. That is just not I. Even though I do want one of them fucking necklaces though. Anyway, I like that say universe, and that's my thing I've been doing lately because the whole idea of God is just, it messes it up for me. Like I always argue with people. My homie, Amber on Facebook. What up? I know you don't listen to this shit, nigga. He was talking about God, and I was saying the thing that gets me about God is if God can do anything, God can make a world without sin, where we have free will, and we're happy. Well, this and that. No, if you can do anything, you can do anything. There's no in between. Either you can do anything or you can't do anything. Then if you can do anything, then you're not doing it because you don't want to, because you can do anything. And that's my whole thing with it, And, if I'm praying to God and you're a person or you're an entity or something like that, and it's just weird because I still do pray to God. Niggas, motherfucker be scared sometimes. But for the most part, universe is easier for me to deal with because it's like if I ask the universe and the universe is an entity, it's not like, a person or something. Yeah, the universe does what the fuck it does. That's fair. But when it's a person, it's like, I kind of want to know why you didn't give me what I wanted now. If it's the universe and it's like, I just move and things happen, energy flow and sway. I'm like, okay, fuck it. I'm sure everybody else is getting screwed over. You know what I'm saying? I can't prove it. But, when you act like it's an entity and a person and, and then we can rationalize it. And I need to know why, in the grand scheme of things, can't I get like a couple meal? I don't even need a lot. I just need enough so I can live well beyond what I'm accustomed to. I wouldn't even be extravagant rich. I'd be low-key rich. Motherfuckers wouldn't even know it. Why can't I get some low-key money? How is that fucking up the grand scheme of things, the delicate web of destiny? Because if you can do anything, then you can fucking explain it to me. Yeah, Anyway, back to what I was saying, about, how things was working out and stuff. And it's just weird to me that I'm making an effort to be nice and to motivate and uplift. And it's weird to me. And it's just mainly because, Bubby, she brainwashed me good early. And, I'm always with the thing. I really do try to treat people the way I want to be treated all the time. I really do.
Because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
Sound like I'm fucking running for office. I really do. I try to treat people nice. I'm not racist. I have 2 black friends and an Indian friend. Red dot and feather. Anyway, 10 points to anybody who can guess with song and the artist. 15 points if you can get the song and the artist for that reference. As we continue. And so I just feel weird about that. And I just found that interesting that, it's just odd and it's just weird to me. And I feel very self-conscious about it. And this with the whole thing of just people's, like with my fam and their mama or whatever passing, it's just crazy to me, because I'm at that age now. Like I had made a Facebook status and I was saying, I remember being the baby of the family. Remember being 3 grandkids. That was it. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember other people being born, and after a while, I wasn't getting the same attention like I used to. Motherfuckers was pushing me to the back of the line. Got the way, here come the baby. Like, damn. They used to call me the baby. Now I'm just Miles.
What about Raven? What about me?
But now it's like, no, better yet, back, then during that time, it was always somebody to look up to. I had my uncles and them, and they were still older than me, adults, but they were younger. They were the youngest versions of them that I had ever seen or will have seen. So they was all like young and in their prime, and niggas is all virile and shit. Like, playing football, chasing us down the street was, then, you had grandma and them and whatever. And it was just the hierarchy, and it was just like, okay, it was the difference. It's these many people in between me and grandma and age and all that. Now it's like, as time goes on, I'm getting closer and closer to that OG status. You know what I'm saying? And it's weird, cause now with the whole thing, like, I remember when my grandmother passed, my other grandmother had passed. They had told me, and then I had to tell my mother. And that was crazy for me because I assumed she knew. But it just, at that point, knowing that, they trusted me, like, nigga, you in the loop. This is some adult shit, But anyway, that's just my thoughts with that. And I don't know. And just, venting to y'all. It's weird for me to deal with it now, as far as the whole death thing, because I have kids. And, you know, I said it on my Facebook and somebody was like, oh, you know what I'm saying, just so much more now because I have a son. Oh, your daughters don't matter. No, my fucking daughter says everything. Don't ever get that twisted. You know what I'm saying? But my son and my daughters. And I want to see my daughters grow up. I want to see my son grow up. You know, I want to teach my son things. Manly things, you know. And up till now, and really, till, you know, I became a father, I never was scared to die. I didn't give a fuck. You know, if I, like my old man used to say, if I wasn't here and I'd be missing. But now it's like, nigga, I live for my kids. I live for my girls. I live for my boy, for my wife. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing here that's giving me interest besides them. I got to see how their story ends. I got to make sure everything is good for them. I want to be with them every second, every day if I can. But, looks like Raul was motioning to me. It's time for a break. So, I didn't even cover half the stuff I wanted to in this little monologue. But anyway, okay, all right. Yeah, so thank y'all for listening. Be back in a second. Podcast called Fresh. Blurt up.
What's good? My name's Quentin, and I'm the newest sponsor of a podcast called Fresh. I'm sure you're asking yourself, what did this brother do? I'm glad you're thinking that. I reduce the stress as well as provide good mental health to the community. That's right, your boy Q sells medical cannabis. And before you go judging, we live in Detroit, so it's legal here. I got Kush, OG, OG Kush, Diesel, Diesel Kush, Undertaker, Undertaker Kush, even some of that HBK too. We got that Trump Kush. You know that shit smells good, but smokes like Reggie's. We got that Pokemon Kush for you niggas playing Sword and Shield. I even got the rare shiny Pokemon Kush too. So hit me up on Facebook or get my number from Miles. Thanks for your time. I'm Quentin.
Finally, a podcast called Fresh has returned. Thank God.
Yo, what up? Podcast called Fresh. There goes Dad. Let's get it. All right, so this right here is a suggestion of something I should do from my legal property / best friend, woman, lady, wife. She was saying I should talk more about some topical things, and I was kind of reluctant to it because I don't like having to do, I don't know, it's like a rule. You don't like having to do shit. I'm fucking rebellious as hell. And because I don't like having to chase what's popping. Like, oh, this shit happened. Let me run upstairs and record. I run to the studio and record. I don't like doing that. I do what the fuck I do, what the fuck I want to. But as wife was saying, nigga, if it takes one or two trending topics to touch on, and they'll touch on the rest of your shit. All right, I'll do some. This is my shiny suit shit. It ain't that bad. It's not, you know. So I don't know if y'all have seen this fucking shit with fucking Diamond and Silk. Just two bitches cooning, and I'm gonna use that word a lot because I can't say it on Facebook and shit no more. So coon. That's just a test. Those are my test coons. But yeah, Diamond and Silk. I'm mad they got the two most fucking hooker, prostitutish names, which is quite fitting because them hoes is tricking for Trump. Need to have a shirt. Tricking for Trump. What? Tricking for Trump. What? Tricking for Trump. Hey, tricking for Trump. Tricking for Trump. Watch somebody fucking make a bite of that shit and they'll fucking smear me for that shit. Miles Amadeus Prower not only endorses Trump, makes a rap song, and then have fucking Diamond and Silk digging that shit, be twerking like, hey. I would make them bitches stand behind me and shoot myself and take them out too. Anyway. But I don't know if y'all saw that shit down there, you know. You got it, Raul has it. He's going to play a clip that we prepared for you guys because we haven't found out. I don't know if the math was wrong or whatever it was. We looked in the books. I don't give a fuck. It's done now. There was a little bit of money left over in the hyphen budget. So we got some shit made. Here you go. Check it out.
Two great people, Diamond
London silk, right? We love them.
Okay, y'all know we about to win another election. And I saw Minnie Mike on fire. Minnie. President Trump is this high. You got to be this high to ride this ride. Now, while the media continue to play the race car, we gonna continue to play the Trump car so we can win.
Mammy, I'd walk a million miles for one of your smiles on my mammy.
Thank you, Raul. Fortunately, that pretty much depleted the budget, but it was worth it. So anyway, as I'm saying, man, that shit, you heard that shit, and it's pissing me off. And it's like, for all the black on black crime, for all the random black people who die on some bullshit, why can't somebody take these hoes out, or people like this out? I like Ben Carson. Like, we need, like, the NAACP need, like, a special assassin/task force to just silently take out niggas who be cooning. And speaking of cooning, get back to what I was talking about. What's up with this shit with Flavor Flav? It's funny, nigga, a white man broke up fucking Public Enemy. Think about that shit. Ain't that crazy? But yeah, Chuck D kicked Flav out because he don't want to endorse Bernie, which I don't knock him. And then he did say some cool shit about Trump. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, nigga, it's Flavor Flav. You know what to expect from him? That nigga is a fucking minstrel show. However you look at it, no matter how we love the nigga, he is fucking, when you think of shucking and jiving, nigga, Flavor Flav shucks and jives. It's an important part of hip hop. But when you think of integrity and morals, you don't think of Flavor Flav. And I'm not knocking that nigga, and he probably has more money than I'll ever see in my life. Still. But I just find that was funny. I don't know if any of y'all thought that was interesting. But back to these bitches.
Ready, set, go.
These goons. Yeah, it just pissed me off, man. Just seeing that shit and seeing these hoes. And it's literally like, they up there, mammy. It just pissed me off, man. And I don't know about y'all, just that shit just make my blood boil, and I can't stand that shit because it's so funny when you talk to people about politics and shit. I'm not gonna get into that shit. These niggas be saying, "What you gonna do, man? I vote local. I don't vote for president." Nigga, why? Until they get rid of fucking electoral college, it don't fucking matter. Fucking, if y'all don't understand that, check out I Black Man podcast. I've said that shit many times in the podcast. It's on iTunes, Anchor, a lot of places. Check it out. Oh yeah, speaking of I Black Man, some shit made my day. I had somebody I used to work with hit me up, and they were just asking me about podcasts. And shout out to them. They got a podcast called Delicate Dominance. Check it out. Hella Hot Water. If I have any say at some point, I'll be on that podcast. And maybe have them do something. I don't know if they want to be on here. We work out something. But anyway, if I gotta, do it myself, make an ad or something for them. But check it out. Delicate Dominance is on Anchor. I don't know if it's on any other platforms, but I know as far as right now, it is on Anchor. So anyway, speaking to, one of the hosts of said podcast. What was that? Delicate Dominance, which is asking me about, I Black Man podcast plug. And, was I still doing it? And I was like, nah, not really. I'm kind of on hiatus. I want to go back, but, blah, blah, blah. Same thing I said you said this shit like every 2 episodes. Nigga, go do that shit. No, fuck you. And you're right. Anyway. But yeah, and she was just saying, how she appreciated the podcast. She liked what I was saying and shit, and how I was holding it down with just me. And that really made me, feel good, and also made me feel a little bit better for switching up, trying to do the format a little different on here, opposed to just getting on here comics and out. I want to get this little soul, and I don't mean soul, I don't know. Well, I guess I mean that, but I meant like, substance and spirit, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, okay, before I forget. Main thing my wife was telling me about is this clip of Joseline Hernandez, old girl from Love and Hip Hop, the Puerto Rican princess or whatever, So It was a clip wife had brought to my attention. And it was peeping the media stuff that people were saying about it. Long story short, she had did some shit, disrespectful shit, was feeding. They on some marriage boot camp shit or whatever. And she had some food that was on a stick on a kebab fashion, if you will. And, she fed him and was like, don't tell my man. He was watching on some camera. Shit came down there, shut that shit out, went off on this woman. She realized how mad she was. She said she was sorry. She got down on the ground. Was like, nigga, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll kiss your feet. And was trying to kiss his feet, was just crying and shit, I kind of felt for her, the bit that I'm able to feel for people. And, so my wife asked my opinion about it. And I was like, I get it, because at the end of the day, when you truly love somebody, nigga, there is no pride. Like when I used to listen to I Ain't Too Proud to Bed, my uncles and my dad knew me, singing and shit. And I used to be like, this nigga sound like a hoe. I don't see was this nigga sounds weak for some broad. This sounds like some bitch shit to me. Why are we singing this? My uncle was like, dog, one day when you get you a bad one, God forbid if you find the one, you get you a bad one, and when you lose them or you love them, nigga, you don't care what nobody think. You want that girl. For real? Yeah. Didn't understand. Fell in love. I got it. You don't give a fuck what nobody think. And that's why a lot of time they say love is blind. Cause you don't care. And I'm not sitting on here advocating women, if you mad, kiss your man's feet. And nothing like that, or kissing anybody's feet, but the sincerity is real. And I guess like I was telling my wife, it was funny, she was just saying about a lot of chicks or what they were saying about it and commenting and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I get it for the most part. Yeah, don't kiss nobody's feet. Don't bow to nobody, but at the end of the day, if you in love, you gotta do what the fuck you got to do. So I guess that's my 2 cents on that. But to take a break. Once again, my name is Miles Amadeus Prower. This is a podcast called Fresh, part of the Hyphen Podcast Group. Blurred up.
We do it for the culture, not the vultures. It's a podcast called Fresh.
Okay. I'm running out of shit to say when I'm back. So, what I just said. Podcast called Fresh. What up, though? Alright, yo, check it out. I just finished watching this movie called Promare. So, I guess you can call it an animated movie. Of course it's an animated movie. Oh, yeah, definitely anime. It's dope. It's, caught myself trying to watch it and, take notes on my iPhone. And, it had my full attention. I had to put the phone down. Of course, I had to read subtitles too, but.
Pause whatever it was he was talking about. And I want to take some time to show a little appreciation for a series that came out about 7 years ago. The release date was about 2013, I think. And the name of that series was Kill La Kill by Studio Trigger. Now, if you don't know Studio Trigger's work, you should by now for sure. It's been many years since they first came together. Studio Trigger came from Studio Gainax, and the proper name is actually Trigger Inc. and just Gainax respectfully. And let's see, if you don't know any of their work, then I don't know where you've been the last 20 years of anime. Gainax's biggest titles is probably what we think, Neon Genesis Evangelion and Gurren Lagann, which is actually Studio Gainax, not Studio Trigger. I had to look it up, make sure that that's what it was. Studio Trigger's biggest name besides Kill La Kill is probably their most recent release, Promare. They have a few other titles that I really wish I could watch because they look pretty interesting. I believe one was Space something, Luluko, something like that. And Little Witch Academia, which is actually on Netflix right now. I just finished season 1 of that. I gotta finish season 2. It was getting pretty decent. And I would say that was more geared towards kids more than anything. But let's come back to Kill La Kill, which is probably one of their biggest breakout titles. Kill La Kill stars a young girl by the name of Ryoko Matoi and the student council head of Hanoji Academy, Satsuki Kirin. Ryoko is seeking vengeance for her father, who was killed by a woman wielding half of a scissor blade. Ryoko herself wields the other half of the scissor blade while she searches for this mysterious killer. She comes across Satsuki, who is, like I said, the student body council president of Hanoji Academy. Hanoji Academy is in Hanoji City, and in this place, Satsuki's word is absolute law. What she says goes no matter what. I don't even think there's even really a government to be spoken of anywhere in this world. Now, to bring you, the world itself is, I don't know, it's insane, it's crazy. If you've seen any of Studio Trigger's work, you'll know they animate with the most ridiculous sight gags anyone can think of. Think of old school Chuck Avery animation with the eye popping and explosions and body parts and all this kind of crazy stuff. And add that to anime and you just got the most magnificent mix of craziness that you could ever have. The animation itself is top notch in my opinion. I love it. You have like I say, lots of crazy visual sight gags. You got characters that just hit a wall at top speed and get up like nothing happened. And my personal favorite character, Mako Makanshok, who is Ryoko's best friend of the series. She is just the silliest little thing, and she do the craziest little things, and she just pops up like nothing's happened. I love her. Ryoko and Satsuki have like one of the top on-site beefs, in my opinion. Whenever they see each other, they're going to fight. Because Ryoko really doesn't know what's going on, and Satsuki is just like so obnoxious and overbearing and just conceited in all possible ways. But as you go through the story, you start to learn that there's more going on to just what meets the eye. It's not just somebody being crazy or power hungry. She's actually trying to build an armada to stop her mother, one of my favorite villains. I swear she is just so ruthless and just, I don't understand how this series didn't get much more acclaim than it probably did. But Ragyo Kirin, I'm trying not to butcher this name too much, is just a crazy power hungry woman whose overall plan is bigger than anyone could have ever thought. I don't want to get too many spoilers. Let's just say clothing is like the biggest thing in this entire series. It's I'm sure there's a bunch of metaphors I was missing throughout the entire series. But yeah, it's interesting. If you haven't seen it, I guarantee you should go watch it. Definitely go give it a look. I just watched it for the second time since I initially watched it many years ago. It's my first time watching it in the English dub, and I want to say kudos to the English voice actors. They did a very good job.
I like it a lot.
I felt that the voices matched the characters to a T, and whoever voiced Ragyo, kudos to you, because that woman made some of the most perverse sexual noises anyone could have made in a non-sexual animation, and some of those, like, oh my goodness, I swear, go give it a watch. It's not for kids. I would say don't let them watch Little Witch Academia. That's more towards kids. That's a pretty decent series itself, but Kill la Kill is totally different. It's not for kids, really. It's just a weird, crazy series. I would say I'll give it double thumbs up. It's an A+ in my opinion. Go watch it. The way they use color is amazing in this series. Ragyo herself is just like always glowing because she's just like that deal. She is top dog no matter what. A lot of the colors are doled out to make the characters pop out more. Like you could tell like some of the scenes where they were animating, like they just took the storyboard itself and just like animated over that, and I love it. Like you could tell, it looks like it was colored, so like it was drawn with marker in some parts. It was just beautiful. I love the artwork in this series. It's great. It's very strong, bold colors. Lots of jerking animation, lots of slow motion. The way they used slow motion was actually pretty hilarious for the sight gags, for the nudist characters, Nudist Beach, and especially the one teacher whose nipples were always glowing. Yes, that's right. I said nipples were always glowing. You have to check it out. This series is crazy. 100% recommend. Also, check out any of the other Studio Trigger animations, which I personally have to go through the catalog myself. And also learned that Studio Trigger also has a Patreon, which I didn't know. They seek out work to get more funds so they can do more projects. If you're one of those type of people that doesn't mind sparing $1 or so, go support them. Give them your money so they can give you more great series like Kill la Kill. Promare itself, I heard it was really good, and I really, really want to see it. So, again, check out Kill la Kill. Great animation, great artwork, great story. It will have so many little twists in there. It's gonna keep you on the edge of your seat the entire time. You're gonna enjoy yourself. Great ride. And now I return you to whatever he was talking about. Tell this man to give me money.
It's just, oh man, where do I start? First of all, it's made by Studio Trigger. It's the same studio that made Kill la Kill. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's a pretty cool anime. It's crazy premise story. It's about this chick who goes to this school and has this magical dress. It's crazy. It's like her outfit is alive. It's an alien, and like people, all their outfits are like pretty much have this alien fabric in them, and they fight, and it's just outrageously dope. And check it out. They also made what is it, Lagorin or something like that, I believe. I could look it up, but I'm not about to because I'm lazy. Anyway, it's like a relatively newish studio, established in 2011, I believe. But as far as I know, Promare is their first feature-length movie. It's dope. First thing that comes to mind was just the colors. Oh my God, the colors are just bananas. It's just, you will probably never see so many different hues and vibrant colors, and just the contrast. It's just crazy. It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But with the story, it's kind of like Fire Force, and that's the first thing I thought going into it. Like, oh man, it's just Fire Force ass movie, because basically they live on a planet where some people are they're burnish. They're called the burnish, and they have fire inside of them. They shoot fire. They spit fire, all that, and they burn shit. They don't really kill people. They just burn shit. And it was just dope how, and then of course the story is about leave it to the Japanese to make anything fucking interesting. They're like, yeah, you want a story about firefighters? I got a fucking story about firefighters. So you at the end, they're going to go to fucking space. They're going to fight fires? Yes. Like what the heck? And they do. And it's fucking dope. But going into this, it's like, from the premise, from the way it looks, the whole setup, you can't take none of this shit seriously. It's straight cartoons, and it's dope, and I appreciate that. And it gives me a world to concentrate in. It has its boundaries and standards and stuff clearly set, And I guess the beauty of it just being a movie is that if it went over longer, like an actual series, maybe then would have had those problems and you would have had those complaints, but none really here. Maybe if I seen it more than once, I definitely would find things to complain about, but nah. So basically you have the Fire Force, and they like have mechs and robots and these ice guns and all this, and they fight these burnish, and they, imprison them and put them in this prison. And because as far as the Fire Force know, they just want to kill people and burn things and hurt people. So that's what they do. And the story starts off with one of the main characters. His name was it Gota, I believe. And side note, kudos, clap to Japan for always making the best fucking protagonist characters damn near ever. I mean, with just the same damn mode, but just doing it over and over again and killing it and knocking that shit out the fucking park. But anyway, the main character is it's like Gota. He's a blue-haired, shirtless guy. Pretty much you're run-of-the-mill Goku. More like a Luffy, but without the powers. I'm just stupid, and if I die doing this shit, that's what the fuck I do. But it's cool when it works. He's got a crew of firefighters. Most of them really don't get too much shine. They're pretty much just used as accessories for moving him through the plot, which is fine. Throughout the story, they're fighting, and as you would suspect, it's very, it's, predictable, but not in a bad way. I mean, it's about the action, and you can tell that because the action scenes is nice. And speaking of that, I guess it's all CGI or computer animated, and I'm really not a fan of stuff like that because it gets to looking fucking wonky and unnatural and just non-fluid, and I can't fuck with that shit. Like I hate fucking anime when it's hand drawn and it goes straight into fucking, or as Doc would say, rotoscope. Like she made that shit up, but it's fucking real. But yeah, this is just a lot of it is, you can tell it's made by a computer, but the quality is very good. It's very consistent. When the action is fast, it doesn't lag. It doesn't look, they know what they're doing. They have a very distinct style and visual presentation, and it works for them, and they are killing it. But back to the story. So the main character, Gota, long story short, he's fighting one of the guys who's his name is Leo. And he's like the head of the Burnish. He's like the fucking Jim Morrison of the Burnish, which is funny because when I seen all of the fucking clips and looking at the pictures, I thought that was a chick, but it's a dude. And again, Japan. Anyway, they become rivals. They fight at the beginning. Gota catches Leo. Eventually Leo breaks out, and, so basically sets up these people are outcasts. When you become a Burnish, you can't help it. And they just, they're just kind of like on some X-Men shit, kind of. But the X-Men would set fires to buildings and shit. Long story short, of course, the governor, the guy who runs everything, this nigga's a billionaire and all this shit. And he made a city and became the governor of it. I don't know how you become a governor of a city. Wouldn't you be a mayor? But anyway, and I can't imagine a billionaire mayor. You ain't aiming higher than that. Nah, I'm just gonna run this shit with my iron fist, son. Anyway, still. So this guy ends up saving Gota as a child from a fire. And because of that, this nigga Gota became a firefighter to live up to the standard of his hero and to make his hero proud. Blah, 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 blah. Fast forward, action scenes. Cool shit. Yeah. And you find out, Gota finds out that he's using his hero, the good governor, is using the Burnish and experimenting on them and treated them like animals, because it wasn't until, of course, classic shit. Gota was captured by some Burnish that he realized they were just regular people. He saw them eating and he was like, "You have to eat?" He was like, "Yeah, if we don't eat, we die. We're just like you, but with fire powers." And at that point, it's like, oh, they're people like us. Niggas bleed like us. So that's what that was. So after he found out, and Leo was like, "Man, fuck you. You don't care, nigga." He's like, "I want to help you, nigga." "Man, hell no. That's why you experimenting on us, nigga." Gota was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, you really don't know?" So, Gota went to the governor, was like, nigga, because he had gave him a medal earlier for doing some reckless ass shit and saving some people. And he said, "I don't want this shit." He was like, "Why?" "Because the medal is made to be given by somebody to show that they're good work from somebody who they hold in high esteem. And I don't hold you in high esteem because you be experimenting on people." So, of course, the governor showed this and that, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to use these people's powers to do this because their powers are doing this, and they're going to make the magma come out the center of the earth and bathe the whole world in lava. So anyway, he ends up having to fight him. Things ensue. He teams up with Leo. A lot of mech action. Mech. Like, mech, robot, Zoids. Not Zoids so much, but mech. Kind of cool shit, The action is very nice, very good. Plot predictable. Whatever you think is going to happen at this point pretty much does. They save the world. Short plot twist, predictable plot twist, but good because it's timely and it's just classic tropes. I'm not saying this is the greatest movie in the world, but I don't have too many complaints about it. I like it. And, what else did I say about this movie? It had a black guy in it and he didn't die. Isn't that wild? But yeah, anyway, closing this up, I would definitely suggest, definitely buying it on Blu-ray, DVD, or if you can catch it in theaters, catch it in theaters. It's a good movie, well done. And, yeah, Studio Trigger is really dope. Check them out, man. But take a break, we'll be right back. Blurt up.
Hello, this is former President Barack Obama, the greatest president of your lifetime. I wanted to take some time out of my busy schedule of doing nothing to tell you about Hyphen Podcast. Now, Kellen, while he hasn't always agreed with my policies, I still like the son of a. And while I can't make you vote or listen to every podcast, please listen to Hyphen Nation, the world's greatest podcast. Take it from me, I Killed Bin Laden's Trust My Taste in Podcast. Hyphenation, featuring Kellen Conley and semi-regular co-hosts Marcus Sean Mallet Robinson. You know Kellen Pods, Marcus writes, it's a better tandem than the 96 Chicago Bulls. And I know I Killed Bin Laden. And Kanye West Slow Jack. But for Michelle and the girls, all love to Hyphenation and the Hyphen Podcast group. And keep bringing your daughter on. She's beautiful. And I know. Well, you know.
A podcast called Fresh. Hey!
Podcast called Fresh. This is Maps. How can I help you? Yeah. What's up? So yeah, this part, alright, been talking about it for a while. Hinting. Dropping little, I guess that would be a hint. I don't want to say nuggets. And that might be sound like shit. Yeah, I've been talking about Pokemon. This is my review of Pokemon Sword and Shield. Way after this came out. This is my first, it blew my mind when after I got it and I realized the last Pokemon I played was Silver. This is the first Pokemon game I played in 20 years. That shit is bananas. I didn't even like this shit when I first started playing it. I got into it because my cousin had Pokemon Blue and this shit was blowing. This nigga was just acting like it was everything. I come visit this nigga. He 4 or 5, maybe 6 years younger than me. Maybe a little less. I want to say 4 or 5 years younger than me. So I come visit him hey, you want to play some PlayStation? Whatever? Oh, no, nigga. I'm like, nigga, you're not playing PlayStation to play a Game Boy? Yeah. Nigga, what the fuck are you playing? Pokemon. What? So he's showing me and I'm like, I'm not seeing how this shit is dope. Nigga, what the fuck? Scratch and growl? Why would I ever want to use growl? Scratch. But, I saw that it was everything to this nigga. He really wanted to catch off 150 Pokemon. So I said, fuck it. It's my little cousin. I love him. Want to get close to him. Want to have, shit in common like a good big cousin. So I bought me a used Game Boy and bought Pokemon Red and started playing. Eventually we got all 150. 151, I guess, with Mewtwo. And then he bought Gold and I got Silver. And after that, I just gave up. I was done with it. It was fun. I appreciated it. It was something to do, but it's funny because I had seen, once they kept going with all the different ones, I'm like, nah, because he had got yellow. And I'm like, what the fuck is yellow? It's the same as the other one, but this time you get Pikachu when you start out, and Pikachu walks behind you the whole time. Nigga, Pikachu ain't really that dope. He's just, it's Pikachu. Whatever. Also, imagine my surprise. This is how he sold me on this shit. I hadn't really seen him play the game a whole bunch. So he showed me the cartoon, this is what the fuck it's about. I'm like, alright. So I'm watching this shit. And it was the episode where fucking Pikachu beat Onyx. The nigga shocked the fucking electric, the sprinklers. Got the water on him and shocked him. I'm like, nigga, that shit is kind of deep. Bet. And caught the bus fucking the GameStop, got that shit, got home. Was like, there's no point in this game where I do this shit. Oh no, that was just a cartoon. You son of a bitch. But it was cool. I enjoyed it. So anyway, like I was saying, I just saw what it was and I'm just like, I'm just going to wait until this shit picks up and gets on some three-dimensional shit on the next gen console. Cause my cousin, I think he had that, whatever that game was for the 64, the Pokemon fought, like Pokemon Arena or whatever. I think was that what it was? Maybe it was. I don't know. And I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, this shit can be done. So I didn't play shit till now. Till last year I got the fucking Shield the day it came out. And it could be a lot better than what it is. And it's funny to me and I'm still trying to figure this shit out because me, I like playing games, murder, kill. Lately it's just I've been and I've always loved role-playing games, but I'm really enjoying a good level grinding game. I can just sit back, sip something, maybe roll up a couple, get nice, and just kill a couple hours. And that's really what I've been doing a lot of since this whole passing of people and things. Terrible business. But I make it sound like I'm doing this shit terrible business, but
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
And it's just good just to play some fucking Pokemon. I put on some fucking music, listen to some podcasts. And just play that shit and just zone out, But anyway, while playing Shield and shit, I decided to, just go on to Facebook and, cause I knew I wasn't going to be able to get all the Pokemon I wanted, So I went on there and just seen what I could get for trade. So I just, joined a lot of groups, and it would surprise me really, cause there was a lot of people who had beat the game quick as fuck. Like today is the 5th of March, right? I just beat the game yesterday. Wasn't because I couldn't. I just didn't want to. I did damn near everything I could up until there was nothing else to do but beat the game. But it just get, and back to the thing with the groups. And it was surprised me. It was a lot of nice people who were just willing to trade me. Cause my first thing was I wanted to have the game, and I wanted to have the first 3 starters. And I started it, and I got the monkey Grookey. I sound nerdy as fuck, right? So I got I got the grass type. So I was like, I wanted the fire type and the water type too, just to have that shit, because I want to feel like I'm fresh. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just met people, and people made posts, and they were just like, yeah, okay, this and that, blah, blah. And it was like, it really surprised me how nice a lot of these people were, and I'm thinking like, oh shit, because my profile picture got my black ass with Deku on that bitch. And I'm thinking like, oh, I hope you don't say no crazy shit. But white people, black people, whatever. And a lot of it was white people. And it just was really nice people. It really surprised me. And they were like, oh, well, that's cool. I understand. Well, you know what? It doesn't even matter what you give me. I'll throw this in. Here's this. Like, oh, wow. Thank you. And I got a lot of dope shit just off of just inquiring. Then after a while, I started getting crazy with people trying, I need 3 Master Balls for this. I didn't even know what the fucking shiny Pokemon was. This is fucking how green I was. Like I thought like in Sword and Shield, I thought those were all brand new Pokemon. That's how much shit I hadn't known. I thought like, all these motherfuckers are new. So it was like blowing my mind, because I didn't know a lot of these were from other versions. So each one I seen is literally like, what the fuck is that? What does he do? So it was fun. Still is kind of fun to me. But yeah, just talking to people, and then I just started seeing like how people started talking about people. And I say this later in this interview that I have with this gentleman named Tommy Diamond, which sounds like a fucking pimp or a drug kingpin, doesn't it? But anyway, no, I said Jennings, and it's Ginning. I feel like he made emphasis on that later on, because I fucked it up. And even if he did, kudos for what I deserve for fucking shit up. But it's called Ginning. I never heard of it. I didn't know that people could go in and you can hack your system and do all this shit and make Pokemon. I didn't think it was that big of a deal until I started realizing what the fuck shiny was, and how you can get IVs, and it's like, dog, they legitimately be breeding these motherfuckers. Like with this one, it's like they fucking breed these motherfuckers like they used to breed slaves.
Not cool, dude.
This one, because it get this power. This one. This shit is fucking deep, and it was blowing my mind. So then I started finding out it was people who will be like, yeah, you pay me. Because the game has these Pokemon that are like Gigantamax, and they're like these Pokemon that get super big. They look different. They have these powers, and they do like a special move or some shit. So, and to get those, you have to go to these things called arrays, like these little dens. And then sometimes they have beams shooting out of them, and you have to go to the dens. And they usually have like these red beams, and sometimes they have a purple beam. The purple beam is like the rare one, and they get you a super duper rare Pokemon spawn. And sometimes if you do it enough, and they're like, it's crazy. Some of those you have to do like 50 times till you get the G-Max Pokemon. Then when you get it, you only have that time to catch it. If you don't, then you gotta do this shit all over again. The shit was so hard, you had motherfuckers saving that game, turning off the fucking autosave shit, taking the fucking system time, skipping that shit forward to like another. People was putting in work, because like a lot of these different Pokemon you could only, which I think was fucking dope as hell, you could only catch during certain weather conditions, and certain weather conditions would only really happen depending on, from what I'm understanding, where you are in real life in the world. So if it's fucking December, it will probably be snowing, and you can get some Pokemon that come out in snow. Some only come out in certain times. People was fucking putting that shit forward. Motherfuckers had their fucking switches in like 2032 just so they could get this shit right and they can do that shit. Then it was a whole nother thing how they was doing it. We was freaking the time and all this shit. And there's a lot of, you can go on, who is it? Austin John Plays plug. He has some guy on YouTube. He talks a lot about that shit. And it's a lot of hacks that people use to get these different kind of Pokemon. Then you got, like I said, shiny. Like, what's shiny? shiny Pokemon are like exactly the fucking same Pokemon, but their colors are slightly different. And when they come out, sometimes they have squares. Sometimes they'll have like a little diamond things come off and it goes bling. That's it. And sometimes you would have to like fight, cause when you play Pokemon, you go around and you fight them. And, in the wild and shit. And this shit is kind of dope because you could actually see these motherfuckers out and about, which I thought was dope. But anyway, like you would have to fight a certain kind of Pokemon maybe like 400 times to finally get a version that pops up that it's shiny, if that. Or if you're breeding them, people are like, I done bred 700 eggs and I got this shiny Vulpix. So instantly I see that shit and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that shit. And again, let's bring it back to the whole beginning thing I was hearing about. And people were saying like, yeah, they had these people who do this and that and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, I'm looking into it just because it's interesting to me. It's just blowing my mind that motherfuckers is making money selling Pokemon. And I tried to get a couple people to talk to about it, to interview them for the podcast. I couldn't. First guy I wanted to ask him, he never hit me back. It was cool. I wanted to get a brother, ask him, to help him out, promote his shit. But he never got back to me. The other guy never got back to me, but Tommy Diamond got back to me. So that's what's up with that. But yeah, but it's just the whole Genin thing. Come back to that. They had a lot of people who was making money. Like it was this one guy I heard about. His name was Chaos. And he's on Discord or something. And what they do is, and this is another thing I want to tell you about. Okay. With the Pokemon in the game, people got mad because I guess all together there's like 5. And later on, we talk about this in the interview. That's right. Your boy got a fucking interview. But later on in the interview, we talk about that. And basically Tommy talks about that. And it's just about how, some people hack the game. And a lot of stuff I look at it because I'm Mr., get it how you live if you can. I just thought it was funny that Game Freaks, when they made the game, side note, I wish they would have made it to match up Breath of the Wild's graphics and stuff because Breath of the Wild to me was fucking beautiful. But I get what fucking Game Freaks is doing. They're like, we're going to focus on you having fun and adding extra shit and stretching this shit out for long as hell so we don't have to make another one for a while. When we do, we're going to milk the fuck out that shit. I get it. Money moves. But anyway, in the fucking, I guess, in the game, in the data, people data mine all the information for all the Pokemon. They're already there. They're already in the game. So what people were doing is you got some people who would buy 2 Switches and stuff and they would hack one and they would just take out the Pokemon that were data mined in there and they would make them and you could trade them, or they would do it in such a way that, some of them they would trade if you could to other people so you could have. The only problem was you couldn't take them online. So when I found out about that, it's because I started hearing a lot of stuff about people talking about getting banned, and people would post pictures of them with a Litten. And that wasn't even in the game yet. That was like last year. They would have all these different, like, is that a Venusaur? What the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? They would have all this shit like, how'd you get a Squirtle? And, the fun thing with that, the Pokemon is the competitive nature. You want to, gotta catch them all. Pokemon, yeah, all that. So you like, damn. And then if you competitive, you like, what the fuck? I'm mad some motherfucker somewhere with a Squirtle and I don't even know where to look for one at. So I'm starting to see like how these motherfuckers is doing this shit. All right, let me see. So I'm asking. And then we were like, you give me 4 Master Balls, I'll see what I can do for you. I'm like, whatever. So I keep asking. And that's when I found out they was talking about, they got people that are getting Pokemon. I'm like, what is getting? And then, they had this one guy, he had a deal. I got $1 for a Master Ball. Bet. Get 5 Master Balls for $5. That shit is dope as fuck. Remember I was telling you about the Gigantamax Pokemons, you do a raid. Shit, you don't want to do that shit, throw a fucking Ultra Ball, whatever you got, and the shit don't work, and then you missed your shot. I'm with it. So, it just really blew my mind with this whole thing and how I figure it's just like people getting mad because you bootlegging movies. People don't really care, and it just was crazy to me that earlier I said it was so many nice people. So many nice people. All the people who were anti-Genners were just going hard. And it was just, and a lot of times I spoke to the people who would do stuff like that, Gen and stuff like that or hack it. And they were pretty cool people. And it's like, I understand with anything you do well, as Joker said, whatever you do good, don't do it for free. I get that. One guy I talked to, I was trying to do an interview with, he didn't want to talk, which I completely understand. Said he made like $4,000 in a couple of days for just getting people donating him some money and he's selling Pokemon. It's just crazy. You know? So you got all these people on there who are hating on other people. Because the way I look at it and what really happens, you have a lot of people who legitimately do that shit. And they're like, all right. It got some people who just want their favorite Pokemon. Like my thing is I worked really hard to find me a fucking Applin so I can turn it into a Flapple, because that's probably like my favorite Pokemon. And I had to work hard to find somebody that's, you know, to do the trading and do all the shit and give it to fucking Applin needs to evolve into this and shit. And sometimes, like, I get it. Like, if you like me, 36 with 5 kids, I ain't got time to be doing this shit and to be doing, man, no, I might get on a couple hours a day. I play the game. For a good day, I can play a couple hours straight. You know. All in all, to wrap this up, I think Pokemon Shield, and I guess as well as damn, I cannot say Sword for anything, can I? I think they're good games. Out of 5, I give them about 4. Yeah, 4. 3.5, 4. I think it's a good game. Of course, Game Freak could have did more, but like I said, they're playing for the long game. So I get it. About to go to break right here. And when we come back, you will have my interview with the leader of Machamp's Gym on Facebook, also on Discord, Tommy Diamond. If you are into Pokemon, check him out on either Discord or on Facebook. Cool dude. They run some really good deals, some crazy stuff. You gotta listen to it. Apologize for the low quality. Had to do the interview over the phone. Not complaining, just trying to explain to you guys why maybe the dip in quality, what you're used to. You say that a lot now, you can go to hell. But yeah, so it's your boy Maps. Be right back. Blurred up.
What makes me want to get close to someone and snuggle? Fear. Salutations, I'm Melisette, and on A Frightful Fret with Melisette, I read classic horror stories combining audiobooks and audio drama into a podcast. Come away with me into the darkness and let me make your ears tingle with the sensation of terror. A Frightful Fret with Melisette, available everywhere podcasts are, and find us at ourfrightfulfret.net. Don't forget.
All right, man, what's going on?
Everything's great, thank you.
That's good. I'm glad you're having a good time, man. All right, I want to say welcome to the podcast. I also said, thank you for taking time out your day. I guess let me start off by asking you, how long have you been playing Pokemon, and what version is your favorite Pokemon of the game?
Wow. Well, I've been playing, honestly, and ironically, since the Diamond series. Like I did the older ones. Yeah, I've been playing since Diamond. I never got into it before that because I was young. Money issues, poor family. Yeah, I feel happens.
I feel you.
Yeah, but back into the gens, though, when it goes down to it, I've always loved the original Gen 1. It's a classic. It's where I started watching the cartoon, so Gen 1 would be my favorite.
Okay, all right. Myself, I started, first one I played was Red. I only played because my cousin wanted me to play. I played that, and I played Silver, and this now Shield is the first one I played since then.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much, my mind is blown with everything is new to me right now.
Listen, I think everybody's mind's been blown because initially when they released Let's Go, we were highly under the impression it was going to follow the old system, but instead it was just Pokemon Go for the Switch. Yeah. Then they released this, and it's like, wait, this is the classic system with a few additions to it that really blew everybody's mind out the water.
Yeah, it did. It blew my mind because, I mean, of course, I know a lot of people complaining about it when it came out because I know a lot of people were expecting, like, Breath of the Wild. But,
in my opinion, I will say, in my opinion, the community, some people in the community are very unappreciative because here's the thing. When you look at Pokemon as the brand, as the game itself, right, Pokemon has never been cooperative, so to speak. It's always been a single-player / competitive online system. That's all it's ever been.
Yep.
Now, it's a competitive system. Everything you love about Pokemon with the addition of co-op. So people are thinking, like you said, it's going to be Breath of the Wild. It's going to be like, oh my God, it's only so much they could do. But ultimately, when you look at the game as a whole, from a developer standpoint, the game has evolved many ways, and they do listen to the community. Look, instead of releasing a Ultra Sword or Ultra Shield, they're releasing DLC. That's unheard of. They've never done that. This is the first time in history they're doing this. On top of that, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Capcom and the Monster Hunter route. They're doing the same thing that Monster Hunter does. They're implementing new things like the event Raid Den. They're implementing new Pokemon. The same exact concept that Capcom is using for their successor. Game Freak is doing this for this game. So I'd say the community needs to understand that, pay attention to what's happening instead of just fear-mongering or just jumping in and saying, hey, this game is unfinished. Because a lot of people that think the game is unfinished, they honestly just go off the word of mouth. They're just following the masses without understanding or having reasoning as to why they feel that way. They just feel that way because somebody else said so.
Well, yeah. There's like, and then again, if you look at it, like I try to look at it from the way, Game Freak or whatever look at it. If you don't like it, what else are you gonna play? So it's like either they're not hurting either way. So it's like, and they could have made a game that was super dope and everything and all that stuff, but then Lord knows when that would have came out. So I'm like, I can't complain. Like you were saying, all the DLC and stuff. And even when people were complaining in the beginning about how all the Pokemon weren't coming, and at first I thought it was dumb. And I thought about it, and I was like, that's a lot of Pokemon to bring to this game. What's up?
You know, so crazy on a business standpoint, when it comes to that, this is my argument for it, right? People fail to realize, and this is the part of elitism when it kicks in. Not every Pokemon OG is playing the game. New people are playing it. Do you understand how matter of fact, the game won't sell as well if they had the whole national dex. That is absolutely overwhelming for a newcomer. Do you understand the frustration with somebody picking up Sword and Shield, their first Pokemon game? They would be so flustered at seeing all that Pokemon. So that was smart what they did. That was a smart tactical approach to introducing a game that fits the audience that they're appealing to. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize. I look at it from a business standpoint, and that's how I agree with it. And look what they're doing. We're getting, 200 Pokemon per DLC or something of that nature? We're getting a lot more instead of the typical, let's go Ultra Sword, Ultra Shield, or Super, or whatever, and just revamping and adding 10 extra Pokemon like you normally used to do. They're adding hundreds right now. So the community honestly needs to sit back, look at it from a business standpoint, and realize what's going on. Because they're getting their money's worth, in my opinion. They're getting more than their money's worth.
Oh yeah, definitely they are. I can't argue that. Well, definitely, I want to take some time out to talk about you and what you're doing and everything, and your opinion about the whole. Because like I said, I'm new to this. The whole people just the cloning, hacking, getting, and all that stuff. It's just crazy to me. And
well, okay. When it comes down to it, Jenning is how should I say it? It's basically, you understand, making the Pokemon to some nice specifications and delivering it to them. Well, but when it comes down to it, though, these things cannot get you banned. They don't harm the person that's receiving it. The only person that could suffer would be myself and other people who are doing the same thing, because what we're doing, we're altering the files. We're altering the save files because we make the Pokemon and put it back into the Switch. So that's us. So a lot of people say, we can get banned for having that Pokemon. That is not true. Nothing will happen to you. The worst that can ever happen, and the only thing that can ever happen to a player that has a gen Pokemon, is if they decide to go to a VGC. If they go to a VGC and there's a check on their Pokemon, if the Pokemon doesn't have legal details, then they're kicked out of the VGC, but they're not banned. They just will be booted right out of it. That's it. That's the worst that would happen to a person.
Because I was really interested in that, and with the whole thing, because I've seen in your group and everything, people were like, "Yeah, you'll get banned," and it's just crazy to me. Because when I first found out about it, like I said, I haven't played since Super, and it's just like I said, I got a full-time job, I got a wife and kids, and it's cool for somebody to be like, I get why somebody was like, I don't feel like doing all that. I just want this shiny whatever it is. I'm willing to do whatever. I have to pay a couple dollars, however they do it. To get in, it's like people it's destroying the game, and it's like I get it. It's like even if somebody gets something you can't go online with, I look at it like it's your game. People just so angry about it and trying to report people. That stuff just blew my mind.
I'll be truthful with you. That's one of the reasons, and I have an article on that. I actually wrote a pretty decent article on my announcements in regards to that. You see, there's people out there that say, hey, I want to go out there and get it myself. I understand that. That's a sense of pride. That's a sense of accomplishment. I will not knock that. But there are people out there that have reasons for Jennings, such as they want to get a competitive team. And believe it or not, Jennings keeps them playing the game. If Jennings wasn't a thing, a lot of players would not play the game because they don't want to sit there for hours or days or even weeks, some even months, breeding a competitive team just to go online with. Well, they can just contact a Jenner and say, hey, can you just make this for me? All right, they got everything. They're ready to go. Like, for example, I run a league. My leaders always come to me when I tell them, hey, go breed it. I'll joke around and say, go breed it for them. And they'll say, no, I don't want to breed this. If I got to breed, I'm leaving the league. I'm going to stop and put my switch up and not playing this game anymore. I'm playing something else. Yeah. And also, forgetting that, like, let's look at you, for example. You have several children. You're working. You're married. You, for a prime example, you cannot sit down and breed these Pokemon. So a person like myself would come in and say, okay, we can give you what you want. It alleviates, because at the end of the day, time is money. You don't have time to sit down and run that, especially if you have a family behind you, you have kids and whatnot. You just want to play the game and enjoy it. And Jennings allows that because you just come in, place your order, receive it, have fun, do what you want to do, while you focus on what matters most, which is your IRL situations.
Yeah. And I think to me, it's cool. Like I look at it no different. It's like even with people who like, oh, you're doing this and that, and I think about it. Well, you're not doing nothing that's not in the game. It's like if you're making stuff that's just crazy, like you were saying. I feel like even if somebody did want to make something that's just, oh, this is just crazy, as long as it's in your game and like you say, you're not trying to play competitive or anything. That's your thing. But I gotta tell you, I've never seen that.
That's another thing. Game Freak made sure they eliminated that this time around because in the older generation, it was a thing. They had a term. They literally called it Hackmons, where you put 252 EVs in every single stat. That doesn't work no more. They check everything when you go online and competitive and let you know if your Pokemon is illegal. And if it's illegal, you cannot use it online. But you can still have fun with it in your main game. So in my opinion, there should be no issues with that because you're not being hindered by this person's hacked Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's legal, then okay, it's going to go online. You're going to fight against it. But having illegal versus, not illegal, but a legitimate Pokemon that you sat down for days on end to breed and whatnot and raise versus a person that has had his Pokemon gen in 2 minutes, they're both the same. Because ultimately when it boils down to it, it doesn't matter how the method of acquisition was. It matters of how you play your game and your knowledge on the battle itself. And people fail to realize that. You're not going into a battle, and you'll just beat me off the simple fact of knowledge. It's a thing. People fail to realize you have to understand how the battle goes, how the play style goes. But like I said, people will always complain about Jennings. And then ironically, people fail to see this is the biggest thing that's been getting me recently with a lot of members, and just in communities in general. They'll complain about Gen Pokemon. They'll complain and say, oh, that's illegal, I don't like it. But 5 minutes later, the same person that had like, say, for example, myself, I will get bashed, and people are like, oh, you're a Jenner, I don't like you. And then 5 minutes later, I'll have a giveaway saying, hey, free shiny Mewtwo's. I'll have about 300 of them for a giveaway. The same people bashing me will still jump in to get a Mewtwo just to use it. And I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't get it saying that, like, the same person will be like, you said the same person, like, oh, this and that junk is up. You're doing this, but like, oh my God, look, I got a shiny Mew in a surprise trade. It's like, you think that's not, somebody just gave that up randomly? But I want, I guess, you know, it's just so funny to me how angry people got about it. And like I said, this is my first time just seeing any of this stuff, and I'm just looking at people actually contacting Nintendo and saying like, yeah, these people are doing this, and it's like, I think it's crazy because you can go on you can go on eBay. I've seen people talk about you can go on eBay and search a Pokemon and you can get that. It's like I don't even think there's no way you can stop it at this point. I think if they wanted to, they would have. I would assume.
Agreed. But you see, here's the thing. I like how you broke that down. And there's one word that encompasses your entire last 1 minute of the speech. It's called fear. Now, to me, I've always told people, when you're scared of something, fear to me means the lack of knowledge. You're scared of it because you don't understand it. But once you do, you get into it. Like, there's many people that have purchased from me off the fact, and they were the same way. They were anti-Jenners. They were scared of it. They're like, I don't want to deal with this. This is nonsense, whatever. And I'll sit down and break it down to them. And then they'll be like, wait a second, so everything is legitimate, everything is straight to the very T, that it's literally the same as the black card in the game. I'm like, yes, it is. You know, that when they see it and they understand it and they get it, they're fine. So like I said, it comes down to a lot of people are just misinformed, uninformed, or just overall in fear and refuse to understand, listen, or learn. Like, let's use a popular YouTuber. I'm not going to name names, but it was a YouTuber that tried to scare Jenners recently. He said, hey, if you put your Pokemon in home, all right, well, multiples of the same one, they'll get deleted because there's a home tracker in it.
I think I heard about that, yeah.
Right, it is true to an extent. But what he didn't realize to mention is the method. You see, if you take a Pokemon from your game right now, put it into home, it gets a tracker right then and there, right? So you could say you want to make 30 of them, and you put them into home. You're safe, you're fine. Okay. His issue was he took it out of home, put it back into his game, then decided to say, hey, let me go ahead and duplicate it. You can't do that because then you have the same tracker across the board, and home detects that and deletes all of them. So he's not mentioning any of that. Then he also, on top of that, he's so misinformed, he didn't realize that you could delete the tracker manually, too, from it, so it resets it and makes it seem like it was never cloned to begin with. And then you clone from there, put them all back into home, guess what? They all have independent trackers, so they'll never be deleted. So that's what I'm telling you. It's a lot of people that just fear-mongering and don't understand what they're doing or what's going on.
Yeah, it just seems like what you were saying earlier, it seems to me like you got people who are just angry, don't understand. Then I see it's people who are jealous because I see somebody, nobody should be able to, making some money off of stuff like, and I look at it, well, I mean, if you're not, them not making you pay for it, I don't care if they're charging a penny. What is it? If anything, if I was going to be mad, I'd be like, I wish I can get in on that. But other than that,
and that's a big one too. I'd say I agree with you. People have said, "Oh, you shouldn't charge money, do it for free," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll do that. No problem. I'll give you one Pokemon for today. I'll see you next week sometime." On top of that, right? I'll use myself for example. I charge a premium price for my stuff, but I'm also always developing. I'm always doing other things. Like for example, the other night I had an auto gen bot in my Discord. I pushed out within 12 hours 2,147 Pokemon for free to the entire community. That's the exact numbers logistically. As of right now, every hour that passes, I'm running a surprise trade giveaway where I have 16 particular Pokemon, all nicknamed, linking back to the gym. I am sending out 500 Pokemon an hour, every hour until somebody claims my prize of the expansion pass. First person who collects all 16 gets the expansion pass for free. So that's what I'm doing. And the funds that I charge helps with that because who's going to pay for potential damage? Because these are battery devices, right? They could die at any point. They could discharge. On top of that, my electric bill. On top of that, I'm running a computer to power everything all at once. I'm running through FTP. You know, it's just so much overhead, just actual fiscal costs. Who's going to cover that? I'm not going to cover that. So these sales do help cover it, and people fail to realize that. On top of that, when I do giveaways, right? Look at community. Look how huge the giveaways are. And that's all because it's funded. You know, every dollar I make goes right back in. I don't keep the money. Like today, I had a great week. I went and bought 3 more Switches just so I could give out more stuff back to the community. I don't even keep the money. I literally always add it back up. Yeah, I literally add everything back up. I add it back up. I buy a new Switch, bought everything. I spent over $1,000 today. 3 Switches, and I bought 3 copies of Shield just to ensure the community can go crazy and have fun with the money. Like I said, I don't keep it because this is not my bread and butter. I'm an investor. I'm an FBA third-party seller also on Amazon. That's my bread and butter. That's what I care about. I don't care about Jennings sales. The Jennings sales is the community helping one another. They purchase. I use that same thing to buy hardware, supplies, or whatever for the Pokemon community, and I push it out there right back at them.
Wow, there's no way anybody can be mad at that. You just got to respect that.
Right. And that's why a lot of people, there's people actually know more other generals, not buyers, but a lot of generals, they're like, oh, your prices are crazy. And I'm like, well, prices are not crazy. If you see what I do, it's a difference because some of them are now stepping up and buying a second Switch. And I'm like, you're buying a second Switch, but here I am with 7 Switches, all automated, botting, and throwing out Pokemon every single hour.
God damn it, I like the way you do business.
That's just crazy, man. Wow. That's bananas, man.
Yeah, that's why I say it's intense. Like, I don't know, did you go on Discord 2 nights ago when I had the bot up for everyone to try it out?
No. I wasn't on there then, but I've been on there before, but I wasn't on there then, no.
Gotcha. Well, I'll have it up again later on, most likely tomorrow, for everyone to jump in for about 2 hours. And like I said, it's great because people are loving it. They're having fun, and it's honestly a phenomenal system, in my opinion. It's a really phenomenal system.
Oh, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, man. I appreciate you being here today, having an interview, man. Is there anything you want to plug or say or whatever on your way out so people know where to find you and everything?
Well, they could check us out on Facebook at The Champs Gym. On top of that, we will have a website coming up pretty soon that will link both to Facebook and also have services that they can purchase. But just search up The Champs Gym on Facebook. You should be able to see us there. And I'm the admin, Tommy Diamond.
All right, well, thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you getting back with me for this interview, man. And assuming my phone doesn't mess everything up, I'll let you know when I'm going to have it up online so you can check it out, man. Thank you.
All right, pleasure. Thank you. Have a great night, Miles.
All right, you too, man. Thanks.
Okay, there you have it. That is the end of our episode. Thank you for listening. Feel free to send an email out to a podcast called fresh@gmail.com. If you got any suggestions for anything to review, to cover, to talk about, you hate or love it. Also, please remember to like and or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Leave a comment. It would help a lot. I'm trying to get these plays up. My goal for this year is to just make something off of this and go down to part-time by the end of it. It would be wonderful. More time with my kids. You can find me on Facebook, a podcast called Fresh. Instagram, a podcast called Fresh. Twitter, I don't hardly ever be on that motherfucker. I want to say I'm Amadeus Miles on Twitter. And always remember that, I'm doing the same thing right now. Don't let life get to you. Don't let things get you down. When it gets tough, remember, you do have to live here, but you do not have to mentally exist here. Take your mind and your consciousness, put it in a book, a manga, anime, cartoon, video game, and try to, relax and clear your mind. Like Beanie Siegel would say, stop, chill, relax. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for listening to a podcast called Fresh. Once again, I am Miles Amadeus Prower, a.k.a. All Black, a.k.a. Deku's daddy. And this is the end of our episode. Peace out and blurred up.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and comment. This has been a Hyphen Podcast Network production.
They're the bestest. I'm getting paid at exposure.
Bye.